everybody, I'm meteorologist Ashley Smith here with your forecast, your 19 at noon streaming show. And of course, it is Thanksgiving Eve, and a lot of folks will be traveling today and possibly in the coming days as well. So the weather, very important, and we do have some impactful weather on the way as well. So we want to make sure that we get the latest details out to you about that, because if you are doing any kind of traveling, not just here in the tri-state, but kind of beyond, that weather will be impactful, meaning rain and snow on the way. So yes, we want to make sure that we dive into all of those details. So, okay, let's get started. Of course, if you have any questions, as always, you can put them in the comment section, and I will get around to answering those throughout the show. So today and tomorrow are first alert weather days. Right now, not too bad out there. We are seeing cloudy skies, kind of a gloomy day for sure. Temperatures this morning were above freezing. I think 36 or 37 was the low. We're already in the 40s in many spots, and likely that's kind of where we'll stay throughout the day today. Okay, so here are the details for that first alert weather day. We're going to see rain develop this afternoon, continue into the evening hours, changing over to snow by Thursday morning. Does not look like a lot of snow, doesn't even look like a lot of rain necessarily, but in some spots that rain will be heavy enough to impact traffic. Could be some puddles on the roadways. As far as the snow, at times it could be heavy enough that it limits visibility, but a lot of that's going to melt on contact with the relatively warm ground. However, that visibility, the time where that visibility is most impacted is likely when a lot of folks will not be on the road. So we're talking about after midnight until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully most folks will already be at their destination. And if they are planning to go out this evening, I know it's a popular night to go out and meet with your friends at perhaps your favorite watering hole or whatever it may be. Hopefully you beat that heavy snow home. But these are the details. So again, rain changes over to snow later on this evening. Depends upon your location when that happens. I'll break that down coming up in more detail. And then that precipitation ends pretty early Thursday, so that's good news for those that will be out and about tomorrow, perhaps for any kind of turkey trots around the area. It looks like those impacts will be minimal, so that's good news too. Right now we are seeing a few light rain showers across parts of the area. You can see kind of these sprinkles here. I'll zoom in so we can see that a little bit better. This is all very light, and hold on, let me change this. I would not be surprised if some of this actually isn't making it to the ground. There we go, okay. Because we do have drier air, relatively speaking, at the surface, but there is a little bit of rain out there right now. We do have more rain on the way, obviously, because later this evening we expect these chances to really increase. So as you look off to the southwest, there's more rain kind of headed east or northeast. We'll widen this because, again, I know a lot of folks will be traveling today. So if you're traveling along I-70, especially to the west, unfortunately, you're going to run into a lot of precipitation. Kind of the further north you go, the more impacts you'll have as that kind of continues to make its track from west to north across the country. The good thing is I don't think anything's a major impact, but with the higher volume because of so many people traveling, that's when you could see those impacts. You just add a lot of cars on the road, plus the rain, people automatically slow down, and then, you know, it could lead to some slowdowns, some wider scale slowdowns, I guess. Temperatures right now in the low to mid 40s. They're going to be steady today thanks to that cloud cover. We're at 46 in Warsaw and Florence, 46 in Mason and Milford, 45 in Westchester, Connersville right now, a little cooler at 41 degrees. And then speaking of that relatively dry air, here at CVG, we have a temperature of 46, but the dew point is at 35. Winds are light out of the southeast, so that, you know, if the dew point and the temperature are about 10 degrees apart. So that's why I think some of that rain as it's falling is actually evaporating before it reaches the ground. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind when you look at radar, perhaps on your weather app or whatever you may be looking at. Some of that's not making it to the ground. This evening, probably a nice night to stay in your car and go out and check out those Christmas lights. I've been noticing in my neighborhood more and more people putting up those lights, as we expect, of course, because, excuse me, because, of course, we are getting closer to Thanksgiving. There's something happening off screen that I'm a little bit interested in, but I think it's one of our live shots. But anyways, if you are going out and about this evening, getting back on track, Come on, Ashley. Cincinnati's Nights of Lights is one of those things that you get to stay inside of your car and check out those lights. That's at the Claremont County Fairgrounds. Remember, this is what used to be at Coney Island. It's the same show, just in a different location. Of course, they change it just a little bit every year, but if you love that show in the past, you're going to love it now. Temperatures will be in the low 40s. So again, temperatures not only stay steady from here on out, even into the evening hours, they stay pretty steady. They will fall into the 30s, but for the most part, staying above freezing into the evening hours. So here's kind of that timeline of those impacts. We'll see those rain showers increase this afternoon and evening, changing over to that rain and snow mix. Tomorrow, it ends very early. The afternoon is completely dry. Friday looks to be dry right now, but very cold. Maybe a few flurries, but that's it. I'm going to take this full so that you can see kind of more details here. But the heavier rain definitely increases this evening. And then as we head into late tonight, we're talking about 10, 11 o'clock, midnight. That's when that changeover occurs from rain to snow and a little bit of a wintry mix at times. But again, keep in mind that air temperature is above freezing. So a lot of this will melt on contact with the relatively warm ground. And then those snow showers continue to push east into tomorrow morning. We're talking about early tomorrow morning, hopefully before anybody's awake. But I know cooking Thanksgiving dinner, that meal, it may require a lot of time to put together. So you may be up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning kind of preparing that meal. You'll see those snow showers outside of your window, no doubt about that. But by the time that we get to sunrise and any of those turkey trots, the Thanksgiving Day race here in Cincinnati, or you're just going out for a Thanksgiving brunch, or maybe you're volunteering. I talked about this yesterday or the day before that, it's a popular day to go to some of those meals that organizations are hosting for people that may not have anywhere to go on Thanksgiving. And so maybe you're heading out early to volunteer for some of those. You're going to be dealing with dry conditions by the time we get closer to sunrise. And then maybe some leftover remnants on the road or sidewalks, but not expecting any kind of major impacts from that precipitation. Thursday afternoon is dry, a few flurries or drizzle possible into Friday, but we think for the most part it will be dry and cold. Temperatures only in the 30s, but it will feel colder than that. And then Saturday, it's another chilly day too. I want to show you kind of this wider view. And hold on, want to show you this wider view of the model in case you are traveling over the next couple of days. So again, we were seeing that rain really increase this evening, changing over to snow, especially the further north you go. It's already out of here by sunrise tomorrow, and then we're dry for the rest of the day Thursday. Friday, maybe a few flurries, but it doesn't look too significant. And then next week, it's kind of a similar situation where we do see several opportunities for flurries, but it doesn't look like it materializes into any kind of significant precipitation, at least at this time. I want to kind of fast forward here. So this is Friday. Well, we can look at tomorrow, Thursday as well. So Thursday's wind chills at times will fall down into the 20s. So at times on Thursday, it will feel like it's in the 20s, especially Thursday evening. And then Friday, it feels very cold. Even into the afternoon, you're looking at wind chills in the teens and 20s, temperatures in the 30s. Saturday, very cold too. Again, looking at those wind chills in the teens. And then Sunday is going to be another very cold day too, and very blustery. Again, when you have temperatures like this, that, you have temperatures that are in the 30s, or 20s and 30s for that matter, even just a 5 to 10 mile per hour wind is going to make it feel quite cold. This is one model showing snowfall totals, but the models have thankfully come into better alignment. Almost all of them say an inch or less, higher amounts to the north, lower amounts to the south. That's what falls. That is not necessarily what accumulates. That is not what you will measure. But we could see some of that snow on those grassy surfaces by tomorrow morning. Thanksgiving Day forecast will have temperatures in the 30s and 40s. It will be dry after sunrise. Just a few snow showers in the early morning hours. But for Thanksgiving dinner, you're definitely looking dry. And then another very important event we have here on Sunday as the Steelers come to town. Excuse me. And it is going to be very cold. Definitely the coldest game of the season. It's some of the coldest air we've had since March. That's the last time that we had highs in the 30s, or maybe lows in the 20s. No, we've had highs in the 30s. That's the last time we had lows falling down into the 20s. So very cold air expected as we head into the weekend. So here's your Sunday game day forecast. Those temperatures will be in the 20s for tailgating and kickoff. And by halftime, that's kind of the warmest part of the day, 30 degrees. So it is going to be a cold day, a below freezing day, a frigid day. all of the extra layers, the hat, scarf, the gloves, the thick winter coat, the boots with the warmers inside. You can get now not just hand warmers that you put in your boots, you can get actually like feet warmers. Whatever you can do to stay warm. I'm actually going to the game, and of course it's going to be so cold. Jim is dreaming of a white Thanksgiving. Well, Jim, your dream may come true. Okay, 7-day forecast, again, featuring that big cool down. So today and tomorrow are first alert weather days, but I tell you what, I think really the bigger impact is the cold air because, look at these highs in the 30s, lows in the teens and 20s. Sunday, we don't even get above freezing. Monday, we don't get above freezing. We barely reach freezing on Tuesday. So very cold air on the way, no doubt about that. Definitely the coldest air we've had so far this season. Make sure your furnace is working. Make sure that your hot water tank is working and that you have all of that winter weather gear because it is not a short cold snap by any means. I think I have the beyond the 7-day forecast here. This is going to be a lengthy period of time with cold air. When we go beyond the 7-day forecast into the beginning to the middle of December, highs are in the 40s Friday and Saturday. And then again on Tuesday the 10th, but for the most part, we're looking at well below normal temperatures. The normal high for this time of year should be upper 40s and low 50s. So nowhere near that on the 7-day or the beyond the 7-day forecast. Besides today and tomorrow, those will be the warmest days. I wanted to pull up a different model to show for today's forecast because I know that's probably the most important thing that people Yeah, I imagine the people that have to work, like repair folks for, you know what? Actually, I remember when I was in Illinois, that's where I worked before I came here, and we would have somebody, a plumber come on every Thanksgiving because apparently that is the biggest holiday for having blockages. I think it's a combination of having a lot of people over to your house and using the commode, but then also just like, you're cooking so much and you're cleaning so many dishes that clogs the drain. So that's a popular repair for Thanksgiving and into Black Friday. And so they would obviously charge a lot of money to come out to your house on Thanksgiving, or even probably Black Friday is still considered a holiday. So yeah, furnaces, that kind of thing. So make sure that those are all working so you can avoid that fee. Today, they probably won't charge a fee, although I don't know that for a fact. Okay, so we are continuing to see those scattered showers increase in intensity this evening. I think the models have been very consistent with that 6 to 7 o'clock time frame when we see more of the showers become widespread and possibly heavier at times. And then it continues all night long. We're talking about hours of rainfall. Now, this model, even yesterday, never changed the rain over to snow. I think it does change to snow. But again, it's one of those very wet snows. It's one of those where it melts on contact. It doesn't really stick around very long, even on those grassy surfaces. It's just not going to happen. And again, temperatures tomorrow afternoon will still be in the 40s. They'll be well above freezing. So it's just anything that does stick will not last very long. That's kind of the most important thing, is to remember that while today and tomorrow are first alert weather days, and we do think that there will be some impacts, it's minor. It's just that with the volume of traffic, with the amount of people that will be traveling the next couple of days, it was worth alerting you to early so that you could prepare. But yeah, that rain does increase later this evening. Changes to snow overnight. For many of us, it's not until 10 or 11 p.m. that we see the snow. For some of us, it might not be until after midnight, and so that's why the roads, for the most part, will remain just wet. Now, remember, let me check this out. Just in case you're traveling to an area, let's see. Just in case you're traveling to an area where, they're seeing more significant snowfall, perhaps, just want to remind you about 2 websites. Let me see here. I'm trying to find some information. 2 websites that will help you if you are going to be traveling to areas, there we go, that could be more impacted by some of this snowfall, perhaps. Trying to look up road temperatures. I think I explained this last time that the ones that have the sensors that monitor that, sometimes they don't work. So just for out of curiosity, I want to see what the road temperatures are right now. My guess is they might be in close to 50, but I can't find anything to verify that. Okay, here we go. This is one. This is in Hamilton. No, not Hamilton. It's on US 50, 275, very close to Indiana. But anyways, it says that the road temperature is 49 degrees. And that was as of 12:05, so not that long ago. That is near Elizabethtown. So right on the border with Indiana, near Lawrenceburg. So road temperatures well above freezing right now and going to stay that way. So anyways, those websites though that I wanted to remind you, I was trying to see, since I mentioned Lawrenceburg, see if they're making any snow today. I mean, they're not, I don't think that they're open yet, so. They actually announced that their sister lodge, which is in West Virginia, will open next weekend. Okay, but let me go back to those websites. So there's OGO in Ohio, ohgo.com, and then in Kentucky it's snowky.ky.gov. Let me actually make, snowky.ky.gov, and that will show you like any of the roads that are covered in snow, when they expect them to be cleared, when they could, how bad they are, if there's one lane, whatever. It tells you everything. It's very helpful. Okay, no, Perfect North is very wet. Lots of green. So I don't see them opening anytime soon. But with the cold air on the way, boy, I bet next week they make a bunch of snow. That's great for them. They like cold, dry air. Well, thank you, James. We'll get some snow here. It's just not going to be a big deal. But yeah, Perfect North, to like make that snow, the ideal conditions are cold, dry air, and that's what they're going to get next week. So I say that I don't see them opening anytime soon, but it could be. Liz, what are you asking about? We're talking about the Cincinnati forecast, Liz. Yeah. Okay. Catching up with your comments. Okay, I think that's about all that I have for you. We have to turn this over to get ready for our next show. Actually, and I think that they need this for a podcast as well. So there's actually a lot of things going on here today. So bottom line is that we're going to have rain this evening, changing over to snow very late tonight. For many of us, not until after midnight. No accumulation expected. About an inch or less will fall. That's not going to stick to the ground, though, at least not to the roads. Some grassy surfaces, elevated surfaces could see some of that snow. But if you are traveling further to the north, there could be greater impacts. So keep that in mind because I know it's a busy travel day. And then it gets very cold this weekend, starting Friday, highs only in the 30s, lows in the teens and 20s. So prepare for a blast of cold Arctic air for sure. Catherine Bodak will be back at 3 and 4 with your forecast. Chief Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer takes it over from there, and he will have your streaming show at 7:15 as well. So we'll have many more details about these upcoming, about the current First Alert Weather Day and tomorrow's forecast as well, and of course that very cold air. For now, though, I would like to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you this weekend.